Welcome to Use Your Scraps for May 2026, where I'll turn this into this. Okay, let's get started. So I used the square punch to punch out the squares for this layout. It was just quicker and easier. If you don't have the square punch, you can just use your 12-inch trimmer and cut the squares to whatever size you like. So these are 1 3/4 inch squares. Like I said, you can use whatever size you want if you just want to use your 12-inch trimmer. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch a variety of sizes. This is the size of the square. As you can see, I've already punched some out of this paper for a previous kind of just test run to see if the sizes will work. And I think they'll work great for what I want to do. And if you don't have paper that's quite long enough or quite wide enough, that's fine, because some of these are going to be on an angle and cut in half. Even if you have like half of a piece, you should still have plenty to do your layouts. So go ahead, if you have your papers chosen, you can just go ahead and cut or punch as many squares or rectangles as you think you're going to need. Of course, if you're adding pictures, you won't need to fill the entire page with squares. So with that in mind, you can punch, and then if you need more, you can go back, but you will not need enough to cover the full page if you're going to add photos over the top. If you don't know where those photos are going yet and you just want to cover the full page, then yeah, go for it. But I'm going to punch basically what I have and see where that gets me. Probably going to punch 8 or 9 of each color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Based on what I have in paper. And as you can see, like, this was stuck to another piece of paper, and I changed my mind on that layout. But this can be one of the ones that I just use the bottom half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eight, 9. So I think 9 will do it for me to start, and then if I need more, again, based around my pictures, I'll punch some more. So I'm just going to pause the video, go ahead, punch all those pieces, and then I'll meet you back here in just a moment. Okay, I have all of my squares punched. So I'm going to build my page right on my refill page. Here are my photos. As mentioned, when these go on the page, they will cover a good portion of it, as you can see. So everything underneath that won't need to be squares. If you don't have a lot of extra pieces, this may be a good layout for you to do. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. And I'm going to use the zero center ruler to just kind of give me an idea where the center is. So that's where I'm going to start from and then work up. So I'm going to start, so on the bottom, I'm going to cut on the diagonal and start, easier to show you, I think. So I'm going to cut this one. So I'm going to use repositionable tape just because I may need to move some of these pieces a little later on. Okay. So center. Here we are. So it takes me roughly to about 1 3/16 roughly. That's where the 2 points are on each end from the center. There we go. Now that I have 1 done, the rest should be fairly easy to kind of build. So I can go straight across, or I can kind of go on a diagonal. So I think it may be a good idea to have an idea of where you want your photos to be. Thinking mine will probably be laid out something like this. So it'll give me an idea of where I don't need to put squares. Or if I can put one and kind of tuck it underneath, that kind of thing. So I think I want to leave just that little bit of space between, maybe like 1/8 of an inch between my pieces. So that's what I'm going to do. So the tip of this one is right on the right on the bottom, and then we have, I'm just eyeballing it. It looks to be roughly about 1/8 of an inch, maybe even a little bit less, kind of like that. And then I can continue this way. So I'm going to cut another one on the diagonal here. So I'm just lining them up tip to tip on the personal trimmer and cutting them across. I think I may have cut it a little bit off center. To trim that after the fact. There we go. And so on. Okay, let's continue on. So you can see why repositionable tape would be such a good idea. And if you don't want this little gap in there, you don't have to. You can bump them right up next to each other. It might make it a little easier. And putting them on there to make sure that it's all lined up the way you want it. And these will go, there will be a slight overlap when you get to the end here, because these pieces are just that slight bit wider than the page. So I'm just going to take my micro tip scissors and pop it underneath there. Line it up with the jeeping and give it a little snip. There we go. Oops. And then I'm just going to continue on in the opposite direction over this way with the next colors. So let's see here. Sort them out here. And you can have as many colors as you want, whatever works with your layout, how many scraps you have. You can use fewer colors if you only have 2 or 3 colors. Whatever works for your layouts. Throw some cardstock in there too. Oh, I think I want to put green. Let's see here. Try and keep this a little even if possible. Like so. There we go. I'm just going to continue on, and I'll trim as I go and cut off any pieces that are hanging over the edge, and so on. I'll just finish off this bottom row and I'll jump ahead. There we go. And again, I'll have to cut the edge off of this one because it's kind of hanging off the end here a little bit. Like so. There we go. So I'm just going to continue on using more squares. And again, you'll have to trim on this side because it's thinner, but I'm just going to line them up like so and continue on the full length of the page. So again, I'll pause this and go ahead, finish the page, and then come back and show you the finished product. Okay, so I am just about finished sticking all my squares on. I obviously miscalculated with some of my measurements in between because, as you can see up here, there's a bigger gap than I should have. And I do have to trim off some of these edges, which I'm going to do now as well. But I wanted to show you that because, and you can see I have pieces that are not fully, so it's completely easy to make it work because I know there's photos going over it. So as long as the pieces are showing under the photos properly, no one will ever know. So I think it did work how I wanted it to. So I am just going to trim the pieces now, and I do find it a little easier to just kind of mark them and then take them off and trim them and stick them back on. If you're using cardstock or like a base page, like a refill insert for your pages here, that would be much easier because you just have the edge of the cardstock to deal with, but it's a little harder with the refill pages. Smaller ones like that are okay, but the corner pieces do seem to be, or the bigger pieces along the edge there do seem to be a little harder to do on the paper. So I'll just trim them off this way. Across the top. There we go. I do have to trim a little tiny bit more across the top of the page here, but that one's a little easier. And there we go. So now I'm just going to stick on that last photo and attach it, hiding all my miscuts and mistakes. And there we go. So I'll probably add some sort of embellishment in the middle here now, journaling or a title over here, so we'll cover up even more, but there we go. And I did do a second page, which I will show you now. Companion page, I guess, as well. Okay, let's see. Hopefully you can see them all there. Kind of. Move it in a bit. There we go. So that's it. I kind of like it. I like the picture when I saw it. It was a Christmas theme, and I really like the Christmas colors, but I think blues and the greens work really well for a travel layout as well. So if you make it, I do want to see it. Be sure to post your finished pages in the comments. All right, until next time, have a great day.